So why is that? Okay, maybe starting the video asking why might seem a little backwards. We've yet to even define what the heck we're even talking about. But that is what we're going to work through today. Why is that? Now I hear you. Why are we talking about why? Well, why not? Why wouldn't we talk about why? Why? Okay, before you say bye, the question of why really is important to each and every one of us. But why? I'm often curious why I do the things that I do, why I like the things that I like, why certain things move me more than others. And I think that asking why about things like that is important in life because the answers help define who we are. Now, as I've said before, who we are is not only what we do, it's a part of it, but we are so much more than what we do. So one of my many whys in life is why write songs? Now, I don't talk about this a lot, but I've hit on it a few times. I'm a musician, I'm a songwriter, composer. That is part of how God designed me. Without this part of my life, I would be a very different person. It is a part of the defining characteristics that make me, well, me. But let me be clear, it's not all that I am either. We need to have balance in our lives so that if a defining characteristic is taken from us, we're still whole. No one part of us, save our relationship with God the Father, should on its own define us. So the question is why write songs? And obviously this is specific to me, but this question could easily be anything else. Why work out? Why bake? Why work on cars? Why study a new language? To fully answer the question, I start by breaking it down into smaller questions that focus on the possible answers to the overall question of why. That may be more confusing than I mean for it to be. Let me use my question as a framework for you, and maybe you'll be able to define answers to your why questions. So why write music? Is it to have fame and fortune? Fame and fortune could be a reason to do the thing, I guess. And yes, both of these reasons are tempting. Fame, everyone knowing my songs and knowing who I am because of those songs. Now that's tempting. Making bank with the songs that I've written? Ooh, tempting again. But neither of these things is a good reason to write. They focus on the gains and not the value of the work. And that's just not a good enough reason for me. So why write music? Is it to have a number one song or a Grammy-winning song? Sure, lots of songwriters want to write a song that people want to hear and that gets noticed by their audience and by the critics. But although having that kind of success is compelling, I'm not sure that that is a reason in and of itself to write. So why write music? Is it to push the boundaries of the artistic creativity that is songwriting? Maybe. Pushing boundaries is part of the historical growth of music, from tribal and folk music to classical music to modern rock and pop music. We had to push the boundaries continuously to advance music from where it was to where it is today. So sure, having the ability to help set the new musical standards is a reason to write, but by itself, it's not really all that compelling a reason for me. Now, that's not to say that I don't have some aspirations towards that end. So why write music? Is it because you have something to say and song is the way that you express those thoughts and emotions? Now, this is more along the lines of it for me, still not quite the exact why, but it is closer. Writing to express to the world around us things that we think and feel is a great reason, but not every thought or emotion is a shared one. People have different thoughts, different emotions, different motivations. So this reason may resonate, but the audience and their reception of the music is key to this being a viable reason to write. Even famous songwriters have struck out connecting their audiences with their thoughts and emotions. So why write music? Is it simply to create something for the sake of artistic creativity, regardless of who hears it or if you'll ever see 1 cent from it? Okay, now this is even closer to it for me. The act of creating artistically really does do something for me. It is a bit closer to why I write, but it still doesn't quite hit the reason on the head. So why write music? Well, as I see it, it can be some measure of all of these things combined. Maybe a hint of fame and fortune with a bit of pushing the boundaries, with a lot of self-expression and even more artistic creativity. That combo gets me closer to what motivates me to write, but it's still not quite there. So really, why do I write music? Well, I truly believe that the truest explanation of why I write music is simply because I can't not write music. Writing is a thing that I am compelled to do from a place within my soul that has no care for fame or fortune, no care for Grammys and hit songs, no care for pushing boundaries, no focus on having to be artistically creative for creativity's sake, and honestly, no care for having to express anything in particular, although it always does. For me, music is written because it has to be written. Sometimes I feel like I'm just along for the ride as the music is written, and most of the time, my completed music doesn't even feel like it's mine. It's a weird thing, but it's true. This reason works when it comes to why for most of the other creative expressions in my life, and maybe yours as well. We do what we do simply because we have to do it. It's that ingrained within us. So the answers to the other whys in our lives are out there too, not just the ones that have to do with our creativity. I know that some whys are hard, like deep hurt hard. And here I am talking about writing songs. But from my perspective, the process of searching for the why in those things is no different. It just has more difficult questions and more difficult answers. My process is to take each possible reason and run it through the question of why and see if it holds any place in my heart. Now, we need to make sure that we are honest with ourselves in the process, because the answers to why can be things that we don't want them to be. We can hold tight to answers that feel good despite their validity. So please, if you're struggling with a difficult why, seek counsel from people who will give you godly, healthy, and unbiased feedback. And I encourage you, don't walk alone if your why is difficult. So that's why I write music. Now, it took me a long time to dial the why in, but I see it clearly now. And the knowledge of my why actually takes some of the burden off of me to write. I don't fret over it anymore because I know that the song will be written when it needs to be written. That doesn't get me off the hook of practicing with the skills, talents, and abilities that I've been given to write. Not everything I write is a final song. Sometimes the sketches are just there to hone my craft. So, how do you resonate with the answers to the whys in your life, especially the answers to why you create? Is the knowledge of why helpful to you, or are you okay with not knowing why? In my opinion, knowing why helps give us perspective in all the things of life. Why is a powerful question. I pray that the answers to all of our whys will point us down a path that allows each of us to go, create, and be a blessing. You can support our channel by subscribing, hitting that bell icon to get notified when new content comes out, and liking our videos. If you'd like to consider supporting our team financially, there's a link in the video description with more details. Those things will help our channel for sure, but if you do nothing else, please spend some time in the comments of our videos encouraging one another to create, to help others create, and to help grow that creative nature within us all. Oh, and you can check out these videos too. Thanks. We'll see you again soon.